All right, so you'll notice here that I didn't mention anything about, finding work with homeowners, right? And there's a few reasons for that, right? Homeowners always need repair work done, right? But they're not always the best clients. What's up, guys? This is Jeremiah, the handyman. In this video, I'm going to go over why most guys overthink getting started with their handyman side hustle. But the reality is you can start making money tomorrow with one of these services by reaching out to one of these clients today and getting booked and making money by tomorrow. So I'm going to show you 3 services where you can start making money from your handyman side hustle really fast. And stick around to the end because I'll show you exactly how to price these jobs so you can actually make real money with this hustle and not scare off your customers. All right, let's get into it. All right, so service number 1 is going to be paint and drywall touch-ups for realtors. All right, so realtors, they always need someone reliable to go to for just paint and drywall touch-up services and repairs for their customers. They need someone who's professional, who's going to pick up the first time they call, and is going to be able to get them a price relatively quickly within a day or two and get them booked quickly. Okay, and appearance is everything, right? Because you are going to be an extension of them. So they want to rely on someone who carries himself well, dresses clean, smells decent, can get this project knocked out for them and make them look good for their client. All right, so why is this service so valuable, right? Because, simple paint and drywall touch-ups, they go a long way when it comes to showing the house for a realtor and getting that, home seller top dollar for their property. This is also a super simple entry-level service because, it doesn't take much skill. And then the beautiful thing here is that, once a realtor gets to know how you work and gets to like you as a person, they'll start referring you to like higher paying jobs or different jobs around, their house or their clients' homes. A lot of realtors are also property managers or home managers if you live in a higher end area. And, they will start throwing you those types of jobs as well for just general home repair work. So this is a great way to get in with a realtor. When you go and reach out to them, you can find them on, realtor.com. You can get their phone number and their email address online and just text them saying that you specifically do, paint and drywall touch up and that you're fast, you're reliable, and you can get them a quote really quickly. All right, so service number 2 is going to be paint and decor hanging and furniture assembly for interior designers and home stagers. All right, so designers and staging companies are always on tight deadlines. They often wait till the last minute and can obviously use a professional service to take care of their finishing touches and are willing to pay you well to do it if you show up on time with professional. All right, these people always need somebody reliable who can come and hang mirrors, mount pictures, assemble furniture, mount shelves, things like that, and can get out to them quickly within a day or 2. These jobs are also relatively small, so it allows you to do it before or after work and around your schedule. And I will make a preference here and say that most of these repairs are not good if you can only do work on the weekends, right? If you only do work on the weekends, then you might need to stick to just helping out neighbors with little projects they have until you can afford enough time in your schedule to be able to get there before or after work, or you just have a couple days a week where you can schedule these jobs, because typically these are going to be things they need during the weekdays. And then once you become their go-to guy for these types of projects, they'll start throwing you other types of projects, especially for designers, because they work with contractors, and they'll start throwing you more just general home repair, installation, plumbing, electrical installations. They have an end to contractors, and then the contractors will want to work with you through the designer. So, and then also with home stagers, they have great relationships with realtors. So, they'll pass your name along to the realtors that they work with when they need repairs. So this is just a great way to get in. And the same thing like for the drywall repairs, when you go to reach out to these companies, you can find them on Google, give them a call, and just tell them that, you're a professional service, you have availability these days, and, you can offer them a solution to, mounting and hanging and, assembling furniture when they need someone quick. And with all of these, you're not going to strike gold on the first person you reach out to, right? It's a numbers game. You're going to have to reach out to a certain number, and then it's a funnel, and then you're only going to get a percentage of the people that you actually reach out to. So, don't get discouraged, right? This is something you can do from your home. It's free, and just reach out to these people, and eventually you're going to get a yes. You're going to get some no's, or you're going to get some, you're going to get people who don't even respond, but just keep doing it until you get a yes. All right, and then number 3 is going to be exterior seasonal repairs for property managers. All right, so property managers, they deal with constant turnover And they're always actually needing to add to their maintenance team in order to handle a lot of the repairs they need. In America, rentals are actually increasing by a crazy amount. The demand is far outpacing the supply. So the type of jobs you can get here are gutter cleaning, roof cleaning, pressure washing, soft washing, driveways and single family homes. But anything you can use with basic equipment, right? Power washing, you might need a power washer, but those are really simple and easy to purchase and relatively cheap, right? If you purchase a pressure washer once for $200 or $300, you can use it dozens of times, if not more than that, to make thousands of dollars. And a lot of time pressure washers don't really want to take these smaller jobs, especially jobs that incorporate a lot of different things, like maybe also minor lawn care and also, taking care of the house and the roof possibly. With these customers, you want to just focus on reaching out to them via email and following up consistently. And just like all the other ones, right, you want to follow up consistently, maybe once a week or so. Just follow up and just ask again until you get a no, right? And then even if you get a no, it's not a bad thing to just follow up again after a few months, because these professionals are always cycling through, repair guys. And, they're waiting for that one guy that they can go to and just not even think about, sending them the job. And there's always guys who are going out of business, they're retiring, or they just end up no showing and just ghosting them. So be consistent with your outreach, because that's the goal in order to landing these clients and, building your list over the long term. And then with property managers, right, over time, if you do a good job with these repairs, they're going to start going to you for other home repair needs, right? Because they got tenants in there that are really pretty much tearing up these homes. And, there's always turnover, and there's always possibility for larger projects, more larger turnover projects. And once they trust you, they're going to go to you first before they go to someone else to take care of these repairs. So, you know, definitely getting in with these repairs can snowball into larger projects into the future. All right, so you'll notice here that I didn't mention anything about, finding work with homeowners, right? And there's a few reasons for that, right? Homeowners always need repair work done, right? But they're not always the best clients, depending on where you live. And a lot of us don't live in the areas we want to work when it comes to homeowners, right? So when it comes to that, it costs money to get in front of these homeowners that you want to get in front of, right? And I don't mean in the traditional sense like Angie's List or Thumbtack. I recommend you never use these platforms, because their whole business model is to make as much money from you without giving you an equal amount of value, right? Because if they give you more value than you give them, then they're out of business, right? I say never work with these companies. I made that mistake and dumped money into these companies, and you never get back what you put in. And the amount of work it takes to put in to nurture the leads that even come from these companies to even land the jobs is just not worth it. And I have resources actually in the description section down below that can help walk you through starting your own handyman business if you're interested in doing this full time. So check those out if you're interested. But you'll notice here that I focused on working and finding work with professional clients, right? People who either work for or run a company that offers a service, because then you actually become an asset. When you work for a homeowner, you're not an asset, you're a commodity. They don't necessarily need you to live in their house, but a lot of times they might want you to. When you work for a professional client, they need you. You become valuable because they need you in order to do their job effectively and get paid and get paid for what they need to get paid for. So that's why I say focus on professional clients when you do your outreach, when you build your handyman business, whether it's part-time or full-time. Focus on servicing them and allowing them to then lead you to all of the work, because they have connections with all of these different homes that need work done. So you might as well connect with them and bring you leads every month while you only communicate with them. All right, so you want to reach out by emailing them, calling them. It's more of a company that the owner is the business, like a designer or a home stager. I would call them and make a personal relationship. But when it's like a company, like a property management company or a realtor, so I recommend those two, you email them in order to get a hold of them, and just be consistent and shoot them an email once a week until you get a response. And then even if you get a no, still follow up every couple months, because, their situation always changes and they could possibly need you 3 months from now and not today. All right. And then the best way to go about pricing out these jobs once you start getting them is following my pricing and quoting cheat sheet. That is in the description down below with everything else. I recommend grabbing that. That'll teach you how to price these jobs effectively and not follow the traditional sense of calculate what you need to make, your home expenses plus profit margin. Like, we're handyman, like we don't know what kind of profit margin we need, right? So I have a simple formula in the description down below that is going to accurately get you an hourly rate no matter where you live in the entire world. So check that out. And it's what I use every day in my business in order to, make over 6 figures a year. And I want to emphasize too, when you're doing your outreach, emphasize that you want to take care of this one issue for them, right? Like for home stagers, I want to take care of your staging needs, right? The home decor, the furniture assembly, the mounting and stuff like that. With realtors, right, I want to take care of the painting and drywall stuff that you need done. Because when you're specific to them, it takes away confusion on why they're reaching out to you. They're going to call you because, oh yeah, there's some paint and drywall need done. Let me reach out to Tom because that's what he says he does. Or the home stager is like, wow, we're on a tight deadline. I need all these, pictures hung for this home we got staged in the nice part of town. Bob said that's what he does, so I'm gonna reach out to him for that. And then that's how you get in. And then after that, they can then ask you, oh, what else do you do? And then that's when you start to build a relationship and start to build your list of services that you can offer them. But that's all I got for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, check out this video over here that YouTube recommends. I'm sure it's going to be a banger. And with that said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.